Another one of the tools available with Office 365 is a program called Sway. And Sway is similar to what we did with Adobe Spark and creating a website. Okay, on the start page for Sway, you can begin with a template. And so you can take a look at one of these stories that's already been built, and then you can replace the pictures and change the text if you want to. Just to give you a sense of what sorts of things you can create with a Sway, we'll look at one of these inspirational ones down here, and so we'll take a look at the Red Panda presentation. Okay, and so this one is set up like a slideshow where you kind of click from tab to tab, and so you use the arrow keys to control. This one, this How to Sway inspirational version, is great to read through because it's lots of tips in there on how to build these things. I am going to just start from scratch and show you what you can create here. So I'm going to click Create New. What you have on the left are cards, and these are the different types of things that you can add. And then depending on some of the settings that are available, they'll look different ways. Over here on the right is a preview, so you can check and see what it looks like as you're building it. So we need to give our Sway a title. We'll call this one my example Sway. And for the background, we'll just click here, and we can choose a picture from this list. We can search sources. We could say, type in sky. And so here's a nice picture, and we'll add that in there. Okay, so as you are working, you can anytime jump over to the preview and see what it looks like. And that's what we're starting with. Now, up at the top here are several buttons, and so the Insert button is where we search for the pictures. The Cards button is where you have your different cards to insert into your story. And the Design button has a bunch of preset color schemes and font styles. And so that's a nice starting point too if you want to choose it. I'm going to stick with this one that we've got. You can click the Customize button and you can change some different settings there. But we'll go ahead and leave that as is. So I'm going to click on Layout. You can choose to go a vertical layout, a horizontal layout, or more like a slideshow where you kind of move from page to page on this thing. But we'll stick with the vertical version here. I'll go back to Cards. Okay, I can drag out text. Okay, so here's our new text card, and we can adjust this in several ways with these buttons up at the top. First of all, the text here is kind of plain text. If you click this button over here, it emphasizes the whole thing and makes all the text a little bit bigger. Of course, you can highlight any individual word, and you can insert a link. You can make bulleted or numbered lists. You can italicize with the accent button. You can bold it with the emphasize button. We could also turn this into a heading. And so to demonstrate what that would look like, first let's take a look at it plain. Here's the text underneath our starting image. So it starts like that, and then it goes into this thing here. And then what we'll do is we'll highlight this, and we'll say this is our heading. So I'll click on that, and it pops up a little separate section here. And so you can see over here on the preview, that's what that does. And you can actually add a second picture here if you wanted to. But we'll leave that alone for now. Okay, so every time you see this little plus button, that means that you can insert content right there in the middle. Things can be dragged and dropped around. Just like that. Let's go ahead and add in something else. So let's add in a grid of pictures. And so to add pictures here, we click on that, and it's going to jump out here, and I'm going to just type in plants. Okay, that's good. And let's take a look at how that looks. Okay, so then you've got a grid of pictures. Notice that everything here is inside this same box, and you can use these little arrows to turn the sections down and compact it. And so this is a section, and it's got these different items here. So let's go to Cards, and let's add a new card. Let's do... Okay, as I'm searching for videos, you'll see a little video clip at the bottom right. If it's a particular, if it is a video clip. So let's add this video there. And then you can see there is a video added to our section here. Okay, I'm going to add a separate section, so I'm going to do a heading here, and we'll say our next section is about water. And we'll look for water. We'll add a stack, which is another way to add some pictures here. And so we're going to pick some images for water. Okay, let's take a look at this. So our section here is about water, and then we've got some text, and I can click on this, and you can see it's just a nice little animation of moving through pictures there. And that's generally the idea. And so you've got the ability to embed web pages, you can add audio clips, kind of a simple drag and drop way to add mostly images and videos and text to tell a story, and it's something that you and your students can make into really nice looking presentations. So I'm going to open this up now, and not as a project, but I want to actually view it. So I'm going to click the play button instead of preview. You don't see all the effects on the preview, so I'm going to click play. And now we get some of that parallax scrolling motion there with the text and things like that. And we can go here in full screen, we can click through our pictures, or we can go X and we just click through them like that. Okay, so that is the basics of how to create a Sway presentation. And by the way, these can be embedded inside of OneNote documents. So if you had a OneNote set up for your students, you could put a Sway right inside of that.